Welcome to 3 o'clock with SOC. Give me a second while I welcome our Spanish-speaking neighbors. Buenas tardes, gracias por estar con nosotros hoy día en 3 p.m. con SOC. Si quieren acceso al programa en español, por favor marquen el número que aparece en la pantalla, cuál es 646-749-3122. Cuando le contestan su llamada, por favor comparten el contraseña que es 779-328-221. Well, welcome, folks. It's Friday, August 21st, 2020. So glad that you're with us. My name is Tammy Rivera. I'm the Executive Director and Lead Organizer for Southside Organizing Center, SOC or SOC. You can get access to all of our forums and view them again in English or in Spanish here on our Facebook or at our YouTube. Just in case you missed something or you want to share it with family and friends, know it is there for you. Just so you know, we've had a total since we started of over 50,000 views, which is about an average of 600 views per forum. Even though live we don't get a big conglomerate of people over the life of the video since we started in March or April. That's what they're running. And so we really appreciate that you all are joining us live or later as we're seeing in the data. Please know we are here for you as we have been always. We look forward to seeing you in person when that's safe to do so. But as the zip code 53215 continues to be as the #1 spike coronavirus positive test result area, we can't consider being in person yet because we want you and our staff and everyone else to be safe. But you can call us at 672-8090. You can email us at soc@socmilwaukee.org. You can visit our website where we have a page completely dedicated to information, resources, and ways you can take action in response to COVID-19. And that gets updated all the time when we have guests here and information here that gets shared there. And then you can reach us on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. And so we're here for you, folks. We're here with and for you. If you appreciate any information you get on the forum, what we ask is that you fill out our survey. It takes a few minutes at most and just a couple of questions. And we've modified this program as a result of your input. And so it's very valuable to us, and we want this forum to be very valuable to you. We, as I said earlier, can't be with you in person, which means we're doing all remote or virtual work. And that's why you don't see us with our masks when we're on the forum, because I'm literally alone here in my house, this is my fireplace room. So that's why we're not wearing masks, but know that we're completely cooperative with the safety guidelines. I want to know who's with us on this Friday. We can see how many of you are on with us, but we can't see who it is. So let's see if we can get some hellos from our Friday viewers. Let me know you're here and I'll give you a shout out. And I hope you're getting ready because we have our staff and you'll be able to ask questions of them. And we're looking forward to involving you. Please know that we're a certain type of nonprofit organization, so we can swim in some areas and chime in on some areas and others no. So we have to share this disclaimer. The views and opinions shared today don't necessarily reflect those of SOC. Hola, Pedro. Good to have you with us. Pedro was just on the forum providing critical eviction information and legal advice. Good to have you with us, brother. Okay, folks, I want to encourage you to stay with us during this program and to know that we're going into our new format next week. And so you'll want to be with us to hear all about that. On Monday, we will be dedicating the feature segment to civic engagement, and the civic team is going to run the entire forum. And then the youth on Tuesday, The Spanish will continue to be our all Spanish program. And so that's kind of all hands on deck. Everybody's sharing that. On Thursday is our COVID-19 or coronavirus feature. And on Friday, you'll hear from organizing, leadership, and community development. And each of those teams is going to be taking over the entire forum from top to bottom on those days. We're transitioning them. Marisol Diaz, our communications manager, has been training them in production, and we have them practicing with us, co-moderating and behind the scenes and in planning. So show us and them your support, and we'll be able to spend a little more time on some of the topics, which is one of the things that you gave us feedback on. Even though we're going to those theme days, please know you'll always get a critical update if there is one, so you know what's happening. Here locally, you'll get coronavirus updates, and you'll get a civic engagement update and a SOC feature update, usually public resources, things you need to know about energy assistance, new buyers loans, etc. So please stay with us to get all the latest updates. The other thing you'll want to know is we have a new captain at Milwaukee Police District 2. That happens quite frequently. Right now, it's running one for every year. We're like speed dating captains over there is what I tease them about. And so you'll want to meet our new captain. We happen to have a pretty decent relationship with our local law enforcement agency at District 2. And on Friday, Captain David Salazar is going to be on the forum, so you all can meet him and engage with him, ask questions, get to know him better. So you don't want to miss next Friday. That is our special feature. And in case you haven't heard, on Tuesday, August 25th, we're super excited to celebrate the 100th episode of 3 o'clock with SOC. And we want you to be there with us. So please register. The link is in the comments section. Those first 100 residents who live in our district, 1st Street to Miller Parkway, the Valley to Oklahoma, will get a commemorative face mask that Marisol created. Look at them, gorge. Thank you so much, Marisol. You'll get mailed one of those, contactless, no human contact. You'll get it mailed right to your home. So you want to do that. We're going to have some fun. We have Marisol created a great video snippet of some memorable moments. We're going to be saying hello to our board, a couple of board staff members, guests that we've had on. But more importantly, and what I'm most excited for is we're going to have you super fans with us. And we want to be able to put you on the screen and talk with you and see you and hear you because we get to see only in the comments. So you don't want to miss that. It's a party, folks. We're celebrating amongst all this hardship that we're going through. So it'll be a fun day. Please be with us. Please. And it's important that you register. If you don't register, you'll be able to see it on Facebook Live, but you won't be in the party. And so we want you with us. So please do that. All right, folks, I'm sure that you're super excited to get to know our staff or spend a little more time with them. And I am as well. And so we're going to ask, first of all, our organizing team to come on, and then we'll do our leadership and communication/digital organizer to come on. So if we can bring on, let's do it, seniority, that we have Clarissa Morales, Travis Hope, and Maria Perea. Hola, Clary. Hola, Travis. Hola, Maria. Travis, no hat today.
Oh.
Threw me off.
No hat, yeah.
Travis has a collection of baseball caps, and he usually is sporting them when he's on the forum. Welcome, you all. Good to see us all together in a space.
Thank you.
Usually our teams spend an intense amount of time physically together, and so we're learning this new way of life. And we have 5 people on today. We only got about 25 minutes, and so I'm gonna rush you a little bit, but we want folks to get to know you. And again, I want to encourage our viewers if they have any questions. I'm gonna share the questions with you all so that you're prepared again. We're going to ask a little bit about your background, where you've worked, what you've studied, what you've done in the community. I'm going to ask for your connection to the South Side, when you became interested in social justice or when you were aware of that. And then let's talk about what programs and services we have for the community that you're in charge of. And so let's start with our veteran staff. Clarissa has been here the longest time. It's going to be 6.5 years now. She was there before I arrived. And so we're going to bring her on. We've had some transitions. Clarissa recently took a full-time job doing her first love, which is social work with Riverworks, but she's staying on with us very part-time to do public resources. Hola, Clary.
Can you hear me? Hi, good afternoon. How are you guys?
Good, I can hear you now. Clary, tell folks a little bit about your background, and then we'll ask the rest of the organizers.
Sure. Well, I've been a little over 20 years in the nonprofit, a lifetime resident of the South Side of Milwaukee. I'm doing what I enjoy to do. I'm sitting outside of work right now, enjoying some of this heat for now, but working with the residents on the South Side of Milwaukee for the past 6.5 years with SOC, made a lot of great friends that I now consider to be family and help them to navigate through the system of life.
Clary, share some of the jobs you've had, because that's so rich, your work history.
Well, you know, prior to going into nonprofit, I was very unhappy in the work that I was doing because it was just work. It wasn't fulfilling. So when I went into nonprofit, I started over at Hope House, doing house managing for some of the families that had fallen on hard times. From there, I just kept moving up. I went to healthcare for the homeless and was doing prenatal outreach, which was making sure that underserved population of women were getting prenatal care. A lot of undocumented women that had came to the United States and needed to be serviced. Made sure that they had all their services and all their needs that were being met. Then I went into case management for the families that were have fallen on hard times, and so helping them to get back on their feet and to get them to the proper resources and back into their own housing for themselves and their children. So that's always been a passion of mine. After that, I went on to Sojourner Truth House at that time, and was doing the domestic violence crisis line. I did that for 3 years, then went on to move with Perpetrator Services with Sojourner Family Peace Center. So we did emerge with the the Task Force on Family Violence. And then from there, I came to SOC. Came to SOC as a volunteer with the previous executive director. I was just wanting to help organize the office and answer the phones and talk to the residents. And before my shift was over as a volunteer, he hired me. At the time, I wasn't looking for any work, but I know and I believe in a higher power, and I believe that I was meant to be there. So therefore, I stuck around. Now here at Riverworks, doing pretty much some similar things to SOC, but working more one-on-one with the residents and making sure that their housing, they're getting their repairs, the crucial repairs that are needed for low-income families, working with the anti-displacement program that we did with Riverworks December. Travis and I and 2 other staffers came and did 265 doors at the last week of December and the first week of January.
Unheard of to go out in the cold. You did a great job too, and that's why Riverworks stole you. But we're okay, because at the end of the day, we're about serving residents. Travis, share a little bit about your background.
My name's Travis Hope. Pretty much lived on the South Side my whole life. Yeah, I like to work I started really volunteering in 2014 a lot. And then I believe in 2018, I started working for SOC. And yeah, I just haven't stopped. I just keep going and doing whatever the next thing to do. Just keep going.
If you're on the South Side, I'm sure you've seen Travis somewhere because he's a faithful soldier showing up. So grateful to have him on our team. And I observed him being very involved and said we need him on our team. Thanks, Travis. Maria, tell us about your background.
So I recently, well, actually not that recent anymore, but I graduated from Mary University with a degree in international relations, peace building certificate, and Spanish. That was in December 2 years ago, so 2018. And I traveled for a little bit, and then I just decided to start looking for jobs, and I kind of just bumped into SOC, and now I'm here working for SOC. So yeah, before that, I was just kind of volunteering in the south side of Milwaukee since I was in middle school. Like all the schools that I went to kind of required it. And then I ended up just doing that on my free time as well. Like when I would travel, it would be volunteer based most of the time as well. So that's how I got into, this background of helping people. And so.
We're glad to have Maria. First, we first brought her on to do canvassing. And then she's been helping also with our youth organizers. And then she took on the permanent position now, community organizer. And just to be clear, so you all know, we've made some changes, like Clarissa just left, but I want to left her organizing role. She's still here in the public resources role. But so you know, there are 3 different districts or 3 separate districts that we divided our organizers in. And so from 1st Street to about 16th, sometimes 20th Street, from the Valley to Beecher is what we call District NSP 16, because that's what the funding source calls it. And Maria is the organizer for that. And then we have a vacancy now because we switched Travis over to the district where he was always present anyway. He was always doing double duty. And he serves, and Claudia used to have a tip about it here and there. He serves from Beecher to Oklahoma, from 1st Street to Miller Parkway. And then we have a vacancy, folks. If you love what you hear here, that we do, it's not easy work, but it's very fulfilling work. We have a organizer position available that would serve sort of 16th Street to Miller Parkway, the Valley to Beecher, which is what we call District 15. And so 15 is open, 16 is Maria, and Travis is 17. All right, you guys covered your connection to the South Side. So let's move on to, when was the first time you can remember you found your passion about social justice? Let's start again with Clarissa.
Freshman year of high school, because what had happened was I started hanging out with people that were more Spanish speaking than English, and I noticed that there was not as much interpretation services for our residents, and going to doctor's appointments and trying to struggle to be able to speak what their illness was or what was going on and why they were there. So that's when I knew that there was a need to help others more than, for myself. And it's just grown from there.
We're seeing a pattern of people sharing. It's very early on. Most of the time people get involved. How about you, Travis? When did you first realize like you wanted to be doing work around social justice or volunteer? When did that happen for you?
I'm not really sure. I just think that I've always wanted the best for all human beings, and just always trying to make, better quality of life in the neighborhoods for people. And I volunteered most of my life, but I think, like I say, around 2014, I really got where I did it a lot, and I got my kids involved, and we used to just attend cleanups and then attend all that volunteer things, and then we just, I don't know, I just keep helping people. And I also just now do it. Like you say, I'm all over. I like to connect all the neighborhoods and try to everybody's living their best life as possible. So
Great, thanks, Travis. How about you, Maria? When did you first realize you had a passion for social justice?
For me, it was almost difficult not to be passionate about social justice, just because I remember growing up going to protests since I was really small. My dad would always scream and hold a speaker, and he would do a lot of speeches as well. So just seeing him, and then being the oldest as well, I'm always kind of protecting my siblings and protecting everyone. So I remember when I was in kindergarten, I think. I was really small, but I remember this moment because I got a bathroom pass to go to the use the restroom. And I remember there was a kid pushing another kid against the wall. And I almost just grabbed him by the ear and took him somewhere. And I was like, you shouldn't be doing that, So, I mean, I think it's always just been there for me. And just seeing by example with my parents and being the oldest, it's always been a passion of mine, for sure.
Great, thanks, Maria. I'm going to share a little bit about your technical roles, and then get ready to share what's your favorite part of your job. So as we shared, we've had some shifting here. So we'll start with Clarissa. Clarissa was the NSP organizer for the area that I said, Beecher to Oklahoma, First to Miller Parkway. But I want to tell you what all the organizers do. And so we get some federal funds basically to help uplift neighborhoods, right? And because we're organizers and we do that through social justice, what they do is really build relationships with the residents in their area to ensure that residents have a voice in what happens in their area, that they're heard, that they have a voice in what happens, a vote in what happens, and that they have a vehicle to organize with other people or other resident associations or citywide to, ensure that their dreams and their concerns get addressed. And so it's about relationship building, and then it's about identifying and encouraging and supporting the leadership among our residents so that they can lead in their areas. That's the base of what an organizer does. The practical stuff is they go meet people, and we try to reach people that we can't. So they'll knock on doors. We do cleanups. We do events and issues. And then we respond to every other need by giving information and referral and making connections. And that's their base job. But each of them has an area that they organize, but they also have a program that they lead in. And they also do an infrastructure support for the agency. So Clarissa has bilingual services, and she kept that part of her role. Public resources, so whatever resources are available, mostly from the city, because that's where we're funded from, to make that available to you all. And then her infrastructure is office management. Clary, what's the favorite part of your job? What do you enjoy the most?
Sharing the resources that are available for the residents.
Yeah, like we shared, that's her first love. Like that social work arm is what she really flows in. And then Travis, he's our organizer again. Now he's taking that district that I just described, which is 17, but he's also our safety lead. And so he is our liaison with District 2, and then heads our safety initiatives with residents. Travis, what's the favorite part of your job? What do you enjoy the most?
The quality of life and just trying to bring places that have not been like vacant lots and whatnot into something beautiful. With all people and all the neighborhoods.
Travis is coming in and out for me. Is he for you guys? Yeah. So what he was saying, I heard saying, is ensuring the quality of life and making sure neglected areas are beautified, like parks and lots, etc. Maria, what's the favorite part of, well, Maria is an organizer, like I said, for District 1st Street through 16th, the Valley through Beecher. She helps with our youth organizers still. We gotta, we'll be shifting that now that it's the fall. But she's our team lead. We needed someone to help us, just stay on track and on time and organized. But she'll be the lead, training her right now on coordinating our issues. We have several issues right now: law enforcement reform, racial justice, immigration reform, etc. Maria, what's the part of your job that you enjoy the most?
I really like the variety that I have here. So I just love I have like administrative tasks to do, but I also get to talk to the residents, and right now mostly via phone because that's the most we can do, but I'm definitely excited to go out and meet people in person and get to help them out as well. So I would say the variety, what my role includes, for sure.
Great. So let's see if we can say hello to folks and see if they have any questions. A ver quién está con nosotros. We said hello to Pedro earlier. Alas is with us. So glad to have them. Diana, one of our super fans. Marianne, Trine, Maria Gallegos, all super fans. I'm really hoping to see you, whoever can make it to the 100th celebration, Maria Cano. I know that Alas has a training that day, so they're sending a special message for the celebration. And we look forward to that. Any questions for our organizers? Feel free to send the questions in later if you need resources. So if you have an issue, like you think the community is not addressing, that would be Maria. She'll take that information and talk to me. I'm the lead organizer. My role is to set vision and strategy, identify the key issues we're tackling and how we're going to tackle them, and make sure that's integrated into the agency. And then if you need, if you want to hire SOC or rent our bilingual services equipment, that would be Clarissa. If you want to know about housing resources or energy assistance or tenant landlord trainings or any public resources, that would be Clary. And then if you have any issues with District 2 or District 6 or safety concerns, if you need to report a crime, and you don't feel comfortable reporting it to the police department, you can call Travis and he'll make sure that that happens. If you suspect that there's a drug house or a gang house or sex trafficking, human trafficking taking place, that is something that you can talk to Travis about. We have a team of district attorney, the police department, the city, and us organizers to examine that and see, is it really an issue? Do organizers need to go, the police, the city, or whatever? Trying to do a better job of problem solving, not just always sending the police somewhere. That's called community prosecution unit, or we call it community problem solving. So if you have issues like that, or also those are calls like in the winter, if animals are neglected, or if there's blight, like somebody's garage is overflowing and you can't get through the alley, or etc. Those are the calls that Travis gets. You all, we have the other team coming on. I appreciate you immensely. Thank you and be safe. All right, next we're gonna bring on our leadership coordinator, Andrea Rodríguez, and our communications and digital manager, Marisol Diaz. And these are two faces you'll recognize, looking so pretty today, by the way. So we have, we'll take a little more time because we don't have a SOC feature. So like, we'll dig in. So let's start with you, Andrea. Talk to us a little bit about your background.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for having me on here. It's always a pleasure, and I look forward to being on here more next week. Background for me, born and raised in Milwaukee. I was an educator before I came to SOC for a very long time, and I often found that as an educator, I was the person working 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. with a baby and an ergo that my babysitter would drop off. And I was often there with families, parents, grandparents, looking for ways to support their student. But maybe they didn't know multiplication, or maybe they were struggling with homework. And I often felt like I was always so drawn to the community that when I had my second child, I started dedicating my life even more to social justice. So yeah, that's my education, which stays with me in this position as leadership coordinator, which I'm lucky for.
Thank you, Andrea. How about you, Marisol? Tell us about your background.
So my background, I was actually raised in Waukesha, so it's a small community of Latinos. So I was always intrigued by the South Side for that reason, just to get out of Waukesha. Not that Waukesha is bad at all. It's an awesome town to raise kids. Very, very small community. We're all tight knit. I was very involved in an organization when I was a teenager called La Casa de Esperanza, which some of you might be familiar with. So I attended WCCC for graphic design, and I decided to continue at UWM, and that's what brought me to Milwaukee. And I moved to the Jackson Park area, and that's my connection to the South Side. And kind of a little background about me. I've always been in the graphics world. That was way before YouTube University and Google College. You actually had to go to school for that stuff. Now you can learn it all online.
That's great. I'll tell you how I met these two superstars. So we were asked to support a group of resident advocates who were working on what we know now as the taco truck advocacy group. And Andrea was part of that group, and that's how I met her. And that's how I meet most of my staff. I'm really committed to hiring people who are in the community. And usually if I ain't seen you in the community, you ain't gonna work for me, because that's the type of work that we do, right? And so we have to live out our mission. But I spent some time alongside that group who asked for some support and technical assistance. And that's how I met Andrea, and she ended up being our leadership coordinator. Marisol and I have a personal connection. We have some quasi-family members in common. But also Marisol I got to meet because we put out a request for artists to design our to redesign our logo. And we did a blind audition of that graphic design, and Marisol won that. And the logo we have now, she designed that. And so that was our connection originally with the organization. And then during that time, she was generous because it was a penny competition. She really did it because she wanted to. And then she did some pro bono work for us. And then we had the opportunity that we have now, and we got to, take her out of the corporate world, which I'm happy about, and bring her into our world because we needed the talent. And so we're really happy to have you both with us. But that's how sort of SOC came in contact with these two wonderful souls. Remind us again now, Andrea, if I caught it right, it's working with all the families of students that you really, that really catapulted your concern about social justice. Correct?
Yeah, it was, but it was also the fact that both of my parents were always very active in the community. I'm a first-generation American, born and raised in Milwaukee, but being political, understanding social studies, understanding what my rights were very important to my father, considering that he was undocumented. He still can't vote to this day, he's 71. That's something we're always hoping he'll do finally. But those experiences, the fact that he learned English through my homework, a lot of those gave a lot of natural ability for me to learn how to be a teacher very early on. And I didn't realize it until when I was 21, I got into AmeriCorps, but I did the national version. So I traveled out west. And then after that, I lived in China for a little while, taught first and second grade English. And I really got that global perspective, which I think is something that is missing from a lot of our people here in the United States. And it's incredible for building empathy. If you get to leave this country and go see what it's like, go do it. I highly recommend it for any young person, especially. But yeah, my parents were constantly active in our school. Our school happened to be one that, our math homework was not regular homework. We were doing fundraising, orange sales, pizza sales, calculating all those things, stuffing folders. And I was raised like that. So it's just something that it was very easy for me to do. And then when I moved to the South Side later, I went to Alverno. That's how I got there. And my job at the time was a Montessori school on the East Side, and they also moved to the South Side. So then we decided just to move, and I haven't left since. I love it here. I have so much family here. And for a little while, I was an appointed commissioner for the Safety and Civic Commission in the 13th district. And that really catapulted me being more involved with how are we explaining, civic engagement to our families? What are they understanding? Do they get their rights? And the work that SOC does is just a perfect marriage of being a social justice person and also an educator. And it's been amazing. I've been here over a year now. It's very different. I didn't think a year ago I'd be doing video production, but here we are. And I'm thankful for it that we get to still be present.
Yeah, we're thankful.
But see, we keep rolling with the punches that suck. Like we keep going, we keep reinventing the wheel. And I'm so proud of us that we're accessible. I'm a, south of the tracks, Polonia resident, very proud of that. And I'm proud of my resident group, and I'm proud of all the work that we do here. So.
Great. Marisol, when did you really recognize that social justice was important to you? I know you said you were involved with Casa de Esperanza as a youth.
Yeah, so I would say like right now is definitely when I felt and could actually see the importance of it. Like outside of like doing an occasional protest or walk or, filling out the census and voting, I really hadn't, gotten involved on a personal level with it. So SOC has really been my experience with it, and it's really fulfilling, and it's really opened my eyes. Again, I'm from a small town. Even though I've been in Milwaukee 20 years, I still sometimes don't have that perspective. And that's something that definitely being on the South Side and being part of an organization that's all about the people has done for me. Because again, I worked the last 16 years in the corporate America. I was the, I guess, token Latina, right? Because I always worked in predominantly male fields and where there's not really people that look like me. So this has been my moment to learn and grow and just indulge in all of it.
Great, thank you. We got a couple minutes left here. So real quick, if you can share, Andrea, the things you're responsible for in the organization and encourage people to connect with you.
Excellent. Yes. So I'm the leadership coordinator of Southside Organizing Center. For the leadership coordinator position, I'm in charge of a few things. One of the most important is our Grassroots Organizing Leadership Development Institute. It is our Gold Institute, also known as that. You're going to find on the show, I'll be giving you little snippets of some of the curriculum going on because normally it's an in-person situation, but we have to change it, and we're happy to bring that content to you every Friday for a little while. In addition to that, I also help coordinate any staff trainings, any staff celebrations as well, which is one of my favorites, including the 100th episode I'll be coordinating for all of us. I also help with strategic partnerships with the Benedict Center for the Sisters Diversion Program, and also with MKE United. So that's another place that I assist. I'm also in charge of our Grassroots Organizing Conference, which we're looking to plan our second annual one. The first one was incredible. It was the first action I did at SOC, and I had just started not even a month, and it was wonderful to do a national event for them. And then our retro ball is also something I'm going to be coordinating. We're having our 30th year of SOC, believe it or not, helping residents. So I look forward to seeing how we're going to do with that since we can't meet in person quite yet. Trying to think what else. I feel like I'm missing one other role. Did I mention the interns and volunteers? Yeah, so I also do a coordination with interns and volunteers. Yeah.
And so she does a lot. If you're interested in any of that, especially if you're a volunteer resident member of a group, a resident group, and you want to apply for our Leadership Institute, that's especially something we want you all to get involved in. Marisol has a dual role with us. She's our communications manager, and before the pandemic and God's grace and vision, he had already prepared us a little bit for digital organizing, how to help the staff pivot to digital organizing. So talk about those two roles, Max.
Well, just like you said, just that, like, I guess I came at a crucial time. I try to do all the behind the scenes stuff. Like, for instance, this forum. I'm producing it as well as being on it. Meaning that I'm the one in control of bringing guests on and off the screen, setting up the graphics for the day, setting up the posts. I make sure that we try to do our best to keep up with all the Facebook and Instagram posts, the website. I'm also a part of a digital organizing cohort, which basically means that we come up with ways to address and communicate in another avenue, which is through Facebook Messenger. They're called bots. It's through a channel called Project Pulso. So if you ever see anything that comes in your inbox from Project Pulso, and it says SOC on it, it's not spam, it's us. So we just try to figure out ways to communicate that way as well, and just try to be creative with it and just have a little fun with it as well.
And she's also been training the rest of the staff to be producers to share that load, because she's a producer every day. So our staff, we believe highly in cross-training as a need for the agency, for everybody to understand what everybody else does, so that in the absence of someone, everybody else can serve, but also for their professional development. And so all the team is getting trained in all the aspects of the form, and Marisol is the key trainer for production, and we appreciate her for that. What would you say is your favorite part of your role, Andrea? What's the favorite part of working in your role?
Honestly, I think the favorite part, because I always have just a passion for public education in general, and you said it right there, our culture of our team and what we offer to residents is really a learning culture, and we're here for each other. And the fact that we can be accessible, I might have a resident saying, I want to do a Zoom meeting with my resident group. What do I do? And that's something that I could walk them through, whatever resources people might need. But the fact that we are just so accessible and whatever, anyone could want. And I wanted to also plug in real quick too with our volunteers and interns. I know a lot of people are struggling with that digital balance, and you're going back into, whether it's college or high school, what have you. If you're looking for even service learning opportunities and getting some hours, we're happy to personalize a program. Reach out to me, Andrea at socmilwaukee.org. We have done some partnerships with Marquette and UW-Milwaukee, and we're always looking to grow that.
And Cardinal,
we have such an amazing Cardinal Stritch. Thank you. I haven't worked with them directly yet, but I do know we have in the past. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and Alberto.
And yeah, we welcome that. So just keeping, especially in these times where, tomorrow is uncertain, SOC has always been very solid on supporting who we have. And it's just my favorite thing that we're always a learning environment and always welcoming.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm so proud of the team on. Everybody went digital the day before the safer at home order, even our youth. And it's rare across the city that people kept their youth employed and got them working digitally, and we did. And so it was painful to learn all that quickly, but we did. But the great value to that is now, when the community's still a little bit behind, we can now be on the forefront of taking interns and field placement and work study digitally. And so that's another value here. Marisol, what's the favorite part of the role that you play here at SOC? What's your favorite part?
Definitely kind of like what Drea was saying, is just the people that I get to work with every day, the constant encouragement and challenge, because you don't grow in comfortable environments, you grow when there's challenges. And so even though sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, overwhelmed, I love it, and I wouldn't change it for anything. And I've learned so much and grown so much from that, and things that I didn't think that I could learn, I'm just constantly learning. So and at a crucial time, because especially like in my role, everything is digital now. So now a lot of it depends on what I do and don't.
So we have a great team, folks. So appreciative of Andrea and Marisol. Thank you both for sharing a little bit today. And then we'll make sure Andrea's the one who puts the comments on our Facebook Live. So Andrea, we'll make sure that everybody get a link to people so that they can contact the staff directly if they need to. You get the emails out.
Absolutely. And Marlene is helping us out today with comments. So thank you, Marlene. But yes, every other day you'll find me there every Wednesday and Friday starting next week with comments and linking resources.
All right. Thank you both. Appreciate you.
All right. Gracias.
Gracias a ti. There you have it, folks. You've met our staff team throughout the week. It's important for you to know their background. We really believe that the people who serve this district should have a critical connection to it, a lived experience in it. And as you can see, they have a wealth of experience and knowledge, great attitude. We're a feisty group, especially myself. But we have a lot of passion, and a lot of incredible things are happening from the team, and we continue to grow. In 2015, there was 3 staff. It went down to 2. And now we're at 30. And so we're very grateful, and we're going to be growing again. And so we're very grateful for all of that. All right, let me see. Do we have any new folks joining us to say hello? Diana said she's going to be sending a message for 100th, and we're very appreciative that you're doing that, Diana. We want to see your faces, and so that would be great. All right, folks, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next segment. I'm going to invite Marlene Zoran to come on and give us our COVID update.
Hello. Hola, or in other words, in Arabic, it is salam, assalamu alaikum, or marhaba. Marhaba is the more formal way. Salam alaikum is kind of like a daily thing that you can say to each other. A lot of people actually even just say salam, which just means peace. So like if you want to say bye to like the grocery store owner, be like peace and then walk out. But it's also it's like a respectful way of saying it, but it's just a little bit not as formal. It's more fun. So that's a update for you. And then, so for today, I'm going to go over the COVID-19 numbers from the Milwaukee Public Health dashboard. So I'm going to quickly share my screen with you all. This part always takes a few seconds. So yes, as you can see here, the Milwaukee Public dashboard shows that we are currently at 23,032 confirmed cases in Milwaukee. We have 397 deaths, confirmed deaths in Milwaukee County so far. Let me just zoom out of the screen right here. I'm going to kind of show you where, if you look right here in Milwaukee, it's taking a little bit here. All right, if you look right here, you see that center right here. That is a part of the 53215 zip code, which is majority the Latino OAX community and 20% white community. So we can see here, this is the most number of cases for COVID-19 with the really dark sections right here in the middle. And then you can see there's other orange sections dispersed around Milwaukee County, but it's very light. It's lighter than these areas, but essentially the vast majority of confirmed cases are coming from the 53215 zip codes and surrounding areas. So now I'm going to talk about the confirmed cases by race and ethnicity. Folks, this just keeps going up. If you look here, a few weeks ago, we were at 4,000. Now we are at 7,100 for the Latino OAX community. For the white community, we're at 6,657. And for the Black community, we are at 6,257. That's continuously going up because it is nice weather outside and individuals continuously congregate without social distancing and not wearing masks around one another and not washing their hands frequently, which is what we're supposed to be doing during these times. You know, go to the grocery store, come home, wash your hands right away. Don't touch your face. Don't touch anything else. Wash your hands. Wipe, use a Clorox wipe or any sanitizing wipe for your doorknobs. Try to continuously wipe down surfaces that are always being touched, especially if you have a multi-generational home. That can really have an effect on the amount of individuals in your home that are going to get COVID-19. So let's say my dad is 58 years old. He is 58 years old. My dad's 58 years old. He has a weaker immune system than my brother. My brother is 18 years old. My brother goes out and hangs out with his friends, but my dad chooses to stay home because he wants to social distance and he fears for his health. My brother does not fear for his health because he thinks that, he's not immunocompromised. He doesn't have obesity. He doesn't have, any health complications. So he thinks that, there's this superhero mentality for individuals who are young, and we tend to go out into the world and feel that, you know, even if I got this, I'm going to survive it. Nothing's going to happen to me. But what you're doing is you're going to take that virus, you're bringing it home, you're giving it to your family. Your family is going to go to the grocery store or go hang out with other family members that have that they've been interacting with, and they're going to get COVID-19. And so the cycle spreads and spreads, and it gets bigger and bigger. So I just went on a little tiny rant for you, but that's just an example of how things are spread within a multi-generational home. So if you look at deaths for total by race and ethnicity, you'll see here that majority is within the white, Black, and Latino OAX community. The white community stands at 176 deaths. The Black community stands at 149 deaths, and the Latino OAX community stands at 57 deaths. These have gone up in the past few weeks. Again, please follow the CDC regulations as we continually speak about it on the forum. So now this is screen sharing the case amounts of individuals by age range. So if you look here, it's honestly, it just keeps going up. It's not decreasing. I feel it, based on last week, it has gone up by a couple of hundred, but it's not going up as at a rate that it was in the beginning, which is good, which means that the mask ordinance that was put into effect by the Milwaukee Public Health Department is having an effect of decreasing the amount of cases, the rapid cases. So it's just kind of slowing it down. If you look here, you'll see like ages 0 to 9 have 1,000 cases. Ages 10 to 19 has 2,200. The largest number of cases is in those that are ages 20 to 29 years old. That is at 5,500 cases. Again, that age is prone to socialize a lot. And according to the Wisconsin Health Department, through this live forum that I was watching, they discussed that the outbreaks are actually being shared through smaller groups instead of larger ones. So larger groups are taking extra precautions to stay away from one another, but it's the smaller congregating groups that are spreading to one another. So try to ask, you know, the people that you're hanging out with, before you go hang out with them, you know, have you social distanced, you know, in the past few weeks? Have you been hanging out with a lot of people? You know, if you feel uncomfortable, don't go hang out with those individuals. Ask those individuals what the boundaries are when you're hanging out with them, such as, I'm not going to be hugging anyone when I come to this gathering. I'm not going to be shaking anyone's hand. I will be wearing my mask. So, you know, just once you put those boundaries, then individuals will likely respect them. And then if you see here, same thing is happening with 30 to 39 years old. It's going up. And then 40 to 49 years old is at 3,500. 50 to 59 is at 2,800. And 60 to 69 is at 1,800. And 70 to 79 years old and 80 years old and up, those are pretty high. 2 weeks ago, they were around the 600 mark, and now they are continuously going up. But you can see here they're not as high as 20 to 29 years old. And finally, we will talk about total deaths by age range. Not much has changed with this graph since last week. So if you can see here, 80 years old, we have 152 deaths, and then 70 to 79 years old is at 114, and 60 to 69 is at 74 deaths. Not much change with those death rates, but again, you know, you still see it's minor, but it's there. The 40 to 49-year-old deaths, 30 to 39 years old, and 60 to 29 years old. A lot of people are not aware of their health issues and that they are immunocompromised, which means that I can have an immunodeficiency, or I can have a chronic disease, right? Such as diabetes, and I might not even know it. And then I go hang out with people and I get COVID. And then I go to the doctor because I'm feeling really sick and I have an exasperated cough that's not going away, and fever, nausea, those are all symptoms of COVID. Those individuals with that chronic disease will then be told by their doctor, oh, you actually are immunocompromised. And so you might be at a higher risk of having, different effects of COVID than those that are not immunocompromised. So just be careful, just be aware of yourself, know what your standards are for hanging out with individuals, wear a mask everywhere you go, and wash your hands frequently. Again, I hope you have a great weekend. Try to go to a park and walk and wear a mask. But that's my advice for everyone for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marlene. Let's move right along to our civic engagement update.
Hello,
Hi, Gabe.
hello. Can I just say that this week has been so great? I think when you're in the thick of things, it's really hard to remember the awesome team that you have and just how overwhelming things can get. But we have such a solid squad here at SOC, and I feel so lucky to be a part of it. So this week has been really cool, and I love it. But anyways, moving on, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris officially accepted their nominations for president and vice president this week during the Democratic National Convention. And just generally speaking, Wisconsin is going to be a critical state in determining the next president. So if you have strong or even mild feelings about who should be our next president, please request your absentee ballot, please register to vote, and make sure that your vote is counted. And if you have the right to vote, but you're not sure if you will, or if you're feeling apathetic about voting, please think about those who can't vote and do it for them. Because it's not just about you as a person now, it's about folks that don't have the ability to vote. And so we should be doing it, si no por ti, por los que no pueden. And then based on the latest presidential preference polls from the Marquette Law School and UW-Madison, Biden is leading Trump in Wisconsin. And we'll see how those numbers continue to shift before and after the first presidential debate on September 21st. And of course, we will come with many updates before that as well. Also, please keep in mind that census takers are out in the community. They are knocking on doors, and they are also at various stores and locations on the South Side. So if you see someone at a table with a sign that says U.S. Census Bureau, those are folks that are available to help you fill out your census and make sure you are counted. So don't be afraid to approach them. They are there to help you and answer any of your questions. Please answer your doors if they knock on them, because they are there to just help make sure that you are counted and that your community gets the political representation and the federal funding that it deserves. I'm just going to leave you with a video now that shows basically how an interaction might happen between someone that knocks on your door and yourself. So I'll leave you with that video, and I will see you all on Monday for the new and improved Monday Civic Engagement Day. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Behind every 2020 census taker's mask is a friendly neighbor. They're teachers, retirees, vets, people committed to doing right by getting the count right. If you haven't responded yet, they'll be stopping by to ask some simple questions that will inform how billions in federal funds are spent on local services every year for the next decade. So when they come knocking, say hi from a safe distance and do your part to support your community. Time is running out. Shape your future. Start here at 2020census.gov.
Thank you, Marlene. Thank you, Gabe. And let's remind you all to please fill out our survey. Marisol, will you remind folks?
Has this live forum been informative and useful to you? What part of the forum could be improved or changed to make it better? Please take a quick survey that's located in the comments section so that we can keep 3 o'clock with SOC going for residents. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, Marisol. I'm going to remind you all, Gabe told you we have a new format next week. Also, Captain Salazar, the new District 2 MPD captain, is going to be on the forum on a Friday. We want to share solidarity with protesters and families. Speaking of coronavirus, our thoughts and prayers to you all. Well, everybody is impacted, but especially those who have tested positive and those who have lost loved ones. You're in our prayers. Please remember to register for our 100th celebration. We thank you for being with us, and you can register in the comments or on our Facebook page. We put that up there, and we want to leave you with our thank you for our funding partners.
Hello, SOC viewers. My name is Marlene Zaron, and I'm the SOC Forum Coordinator and the SOC COVID-19 Project Coordinator. We would like to thank everyone for supporting our 3 o'clock with SOC live show and for completing our SOC survey, in addition to thanking our residents for tuning in and sharing our show. We would like to also thank the following sponsors: Wisconsin Voices, Community Development Block Grants, Neo-Philanthropy State Infrastructure Fund, Movement Voter Project, Catholic Campaign for Human Development, Zilber Foundation, City of Milwaukee Office of Violence Prevention, Tides Foundation, Employ Milwaukee, and all the faithful individuals who support SOC through their personal donations. Thank you so much.